Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be answering some questions that I had when I was a high school senior, now that I'm in college, so let's get into the video. Okay, so for a little background information, I am a student at PBA, Palm Beach Atlantic University, which is located in southern Florida. I'm originally from the Northeast, so it is quite the bit of a hike, but I am truly loving it. So first on the list is one of the most important ones, I would say, is that when you're visiting the campus and even just online, take note of the community in the area. I'm very much a community-based person. So when I was visiting different schools, I was taking into account what the campus feel felt like. Area around your college, really take that into account, because there were some colleges I visited that were in the middle of nowhere. I would really push you to find a college where there's stuff in the college town, like grocery stores, even like clothing stores, fun things to do, because at some point you'll want to explore beyond campus. And I love that I live in a college town / city that has so many opportunities and walkable places to go. You're in a smaller town that doesn't really have much beyond the campus. Make sure that your campus offers a lot of different events and activities for you to do so you don't get bored. Do you feel safe in that area? Take that into account. One of the things that someone said on one of my college tours was, if you were to walk around campus at night, in the dark obviously, by yourself, would you feel safe? And I had just never thought about that, and that was a big eye-opener for me. It's like, oh, okay, do I feel safe walking around by myself at night? Girls, really think about that safety piece. Now, one of the biggest questions I had last year when I was a senior is, how do I know if I'm picking the right school? And this is such a hard question when you're looking at all these different schools and they have all these different pros and cons. But ultimately, I would just write down a list of just what are your things that you want in a school, the non-negotiables of what you are looking for. There are hundreds of different schools out there, and there's definitely one for you. So the next question is, in-state or out-of-state? And this is a highly debated question, and honestly, it's personal preference. I don't think that there's a better option. For me personally, I always knew that I wanted to go out of state. I knew I wanted to switch up the environment I was in. I lived up northeast my whole life, and so I wanted a change of culture, a change of climate, a change of people, and I really always knew I was going to go down south, but I didn't know it was going to be Florida. That was a big jump for me. If you are thinking about going out of state and you're really looking for a change in your life, I recommend it. I was honestly really nervous moving so far away from my family, and it was a big step for me, but looking back now, I don't regret it whatsoever. It was one of the best decisions I have made in my life. If I could go back and tell myself, like, anything, it would just be like, you're gonna be okay. Like, I know it's a big distance, but there's so many different opportunities down here that I would have never been able to experience back home. Don't let the distance stop you from exploring options, even beyond where you think you'll end up, because I had looked at different options in Florida my freshman year of high school, and I was stopped looking because I was like, no, like, I'm not gonna go that far. But literally look at all different kinds of options. Even if you don't think you'll end up going there, check it out. You never know. PBA was the school that I never thought I'd end up at. Really just be bold in your college search process. Now on to schoolwork, the college workload, and what does that look like? Me, I was so nervous coming into college, just worried about what's it going to look like. Is it going to be a rigorous workload? Am I going to be drowning in schoolwork all the time? I am in the lead program and the honors program here at PBA, and I was extra nervous. They really hype up the workload, and as long as you're keeping up with it and managing your time well, you'll be fine. There are majors that have different workloads than others. I'm a marketing major with a minor in public relations. I personally recommend that you get your work done when you go to class, and then if you have time after, get the assignments done right after class. So the knowledge is fresh in your brain. You can just have it off your plate. You don't have to stress about it. Another question I had was homesickness. What's that like? How am I going to deal with it? Is it going to be really hard moving away? And I'm going to be honest with you, being homesick is real. You're in a different place. You're not living with your family like you have been for the past 17, 18 years. And it is a big jump to go from high school to college. You'll be making friends and you'll be keeping yourself busy, hopefully, to not ignore the fact that you're homesick, because you got to feel those feelings. It's valid. We live in a day and age where we can call and we can text, and I've been calling my mom almost every day, just updating her on things. And just because you move away doesn't mean your family is cut out of your life. They're still there. And I think that was one of the things that I was honestly nervous about. So another more generalized question for college is making friends. Honestly, what people say about everyone's new, everyone's trying to make friends is true. Everyone is in the same boat as you. PBA is a smaller school. It's just under 5,000 undergraduate students. And I have had no issue with making friends. I would just say get involved, because they'll have a lot of different activities, specifically the first week, but throughout the semester. And you can make friends there. But I personally have an easier time making friends in a smaller group setting. Clubs is where it's at. I've made a couple of friends through one of the clubs I'm involved in. It is a way to connect with people who have similar interests with you, stepping out of your comfort zone. If you just stay in your dorm 24/7 besides going to class, and you're not being a little bit outgoing, you're gonna have a harder time making friends. And I know that's harder for introverted people and homebodies, but I really do push you to step out of your comfort zone and say hi to someone, even when it might be uncomfortable. Choose friends that you want to be like. My friends are all super funny, and they love Jesus, and they're super sweet and kind, and will always open the door for someone and whatnot. And those are just things that I want to surround myself with. If you are looking for someone who's going to be super outgoing, find outgoing friends. If you want someone who's just willing to bed rot, find people who have similar interests, morals, beliefs, because those are people you can truly connect with. And it is good sometimes to have friends with differences. Surround yourself with people who you feel will make you a better person. A big question I had was roommates, suite mates. How is that going to work? Am I going to get along with them? I have had such a great experience with my suite mates and my roommates. I love them all. We're super close. I would just say, when you're looking for a roommate, it is the weirdest process. It feels like you're in a talking stage almost, trying to get to know people. You get scared of rejection, and it's kind of a crazy time. If you are at a school that's a big party school, are you okay with a roommate who's going to be coming back at 4 a.m? Or are you more of someone who wants to go to bed early? Talk about these things beforehand. Have the harder conversations, because it's so much easier to have those conversations before you room together than during. Just be flexible. Your life is changing, and there's so many different changes going on. Recognize that so is everyone else's, and so there might be some things you might have to compromise on, and that's okay. You're gonna survive. When do you like to go to bed? Are you a messy person? Are you someone who is going out all the time? Do you like to have people over? What does that look like? Because it's better to get it done beforehand than regret it later not asking. You might not be best friends with your roommate, and that's okay, but as long as you can peacefully coexist, I think that's a good balance. I did not choose my roommate. We were random roommates. Random roommates can be stressful. I was really stressed. I didn't know who I was going to be rooming with till about a month before I left. And I'm the type of person who likes to plan, have control over everything. And that was not the case. And I was super nervous, but it all ended up working out. And it wasn't as big of a deal as I thought it would be. My next question was about majoring. What does that look like? Is it okay to go in undecided? And my answer to that is, one, for undecided majors, that is completely okay. You are 17, 18 years old. You don't need to know what you're doing for the rest of your life, and that's okay. I'm majoring in marketing with a minor in public relations, And I knew what I wanted to do since early high school, even late middle school. I've always loved business. I just know that I love advertising and social media management, and that is just something that I know I'm good at and something that I enjoy doing. So when picking a major, find something that you enjoy and that you're good at, or you can learn to do. I think that you'll find yourself in a place where you'll be getting a job later in life that you truly enjoy. Now here are some questions related specifically to Palm Beach Atlantic University. If you are thinking about going here or you're gonna apply, first of all, if you're thinking about applying, just do it. It's free, so might as well give yourself more options. I applied just because it was free, and I didn't think I was gonna go here, and look at me now. So it's just cool to see how God can work in the schools you apply to, even if you don't think you'll end up there. A question about PBA that I had is I saw so much backlash online, specifically on TikTok. Everybody's saying, oh my gosh, I can't wait to transfer. And even like their transfer rate statistic is really high, higher than the average, I'm pretty sure. The transfer rate is high for a couple different reasons. PBA is a Christian university. It's non-denominational. And there is so many different faith opportunities here. If you are looking to get stronger in your faith, you are strong in your faith, or you want to surrender your life to Jesus and get started on your faith journey, and you're looking for a place to do that, PBA is a great option for you. I have grown so much in my faith and have only been here for a month and a half almost. And it has truly been a blessing to see how God has moved through the staff, and just even praying before class was something that I had never experienced going to a public high school before. The people who end up transferring are the ones who just come here for the beach, just come here to party and have fun. And this is very much not a party school. So that's often why people end up transferring, is because they're looking for that party scene, and that's honestly not what PBA is. Another question I had about the negativity surrounding PBA is the dorms, and I constantly was seeing TikToks about the mold. The dorm piece was a big part for me in deciding where I wanted to go to school. I live in Baxter Hall, and it just got redone this past summer. We haven't had any problem with mold. Personally, I know it does happen in some of the dorms. It's not as big of a problem as some people make it seem online. One of the things that stops people from coming to PBA is the rules. That was something I was curious about before coming here, just like, what does it look like? Are they really strict? How does that work? First semester freshmen have a curfew from Sunday to Thursday night. It is 11:30 p.m. and then Friday and Saturday night it's 1:30 a.m., which are pretty reasonable if you're looking to go out and party. Probably not for you. I never feel like the curfew is an issue. Another thing was the dress code. The biggest thing I would say is you can't just be walking around in your bathing suit. We live 1.3 miles from the beach, so it is a 10-15 minute walk. That is the strictest piece I would say on clothing. Obviously they don't want you walking around with no clothes on but there's no you can't wear tank tops, whatever. No, you can wear what you want, honestly, as long as it's appropriate. Visitation in the dorms, there is specific times throughout the day when you can have someone of the opposite gender in your dorm room. Let's say I wanted to have a guy over, I would have to check him in at the front desk. He would have to give them his ID, and then he would come up with me, and we have to leave the door cracked with the lights on. And then you just have to be, you can't be laying down on your bed. My final question for this video is college worth it? And that is something that is a big debated question. Is college a scam? Is college worth it? And I think that is just upon personal discretion. For me, like I said, I was looking for a change. I was looking for something new, and I love feeling like I'm my own person, adulting. I love that. I personally love college, but I understand it's not for everyone, and I think that's just definitely plays a big role into when you're applying to colleges. Is college for you? I know a bunch of people who thought it was. They committed to a school and then decided, it wasn't worth it, and that's okay. It's okay to maybe take a route that's not everyone does, whether you go into the military, you get a job straight out of high school, You go to trade school. Those are all great options. I was not a big school person. I didn't love school. College isn't just schoolwork, and there's a big social aspect to it. There's a big part of growing up to it. You know, you learn to live on your own. You learn to not rely on your parents to do everything for you. If you feel like you want to do something else, do it. Don't be afraid of what other people think, because at the end of the day, you all graduate and go your separate ways, and it's not going to matter. Well, that's all for today's video. If there's any college content you guys want to see, comment that below. And make sure to subscribe, because you won't want to miss any of the fun adventures that will be going on throughout this next year as I continue college. And I hope you guys enjoy. Bye.